Hello everyone, I'm back and today we are building a lighthouse, and this is a really fun little build actually. I've been meaning to build one of these for a little while. I was kind of deciding how I wanted to do it, but I kind of had some things that I wanted within the build, and I worked out kind of how we were going to do it. The main thing I wanted it to be a tiny home, so classed as a tiny home. So it needed to be 100 tiles or less. But then I also wanted it to use the kind of rounded walls. Now, obviously you can make a circle, a perfect circle with just the smallest round walls, if that makes sense. So there's no straight edges. But if you do that, it means you can't put a ladder. So what I ended up doing was I've still got the round edges, but then there is a flat square, if that makes sense, tile wall piece in between the curved edges, so that you can have, a door or a ladder or things like this that just, if you had it the tight circle, you wouldn't be able to put in, which means that obviously I had to use a lot more tiles than I was expecting. So I had to do a couple of funny little things as well, because actually the final thing that I wanted to do was the lighthouse have a kind of rectangular building on it. I feel like when I've seen them in pictures and things, they have this house bit off the side. So I really wanted to have that as well. So this meant that I was trying to get a lot of things within 100 tiles. So in order to do that, you might have noticed when I was doing the roof that the actual roof flat, on top of the final floor, that makes sense, isn't actually a roof. I delete the tiles from there and just use those sort of decorative pieces from the Get Famous pack, which I've used before to use as a fake roof, just because they're flat and I don't know. It's not the best colour for this, I'll be honest. Would have looked better just kind of in a white, the floor directly below it, if that makes sense. The kind of balcony moment. Because, these decorative pieces are stone, so it doesn't fit perfectly, I'll be honest. But I really wanted it to be a tiny home, so that's one thing we had to do to get rid of some tiles. And then the other thing was, so you'll see that the lighthouse is 4 floors high, but actually there's only 3, if that makes sense. So I delete the whole floor of one of the levels, again, to get rid of some tiles. But it kind of works because it means that the ground level has this really high ceiling, and I think that would be really cool. Because that is the kind of sitting area, main sort of chill out space. So I don't know, I think it'd be really cool to have that kind of high ceiling there. So I think it kind of works, and that worked out perfectly at 100 tiles. So that was great. So because I really don't know where else we could have chopped some more space out of. So so it's weird because I feel like I could have made maybe a better looking lighthouse. But, it would have been bigger and I would have used more tiles. And I don't know. I kind of limited myself in that way by making it a tiny home. Kind of a little challenge, I guess. That I didn't really need to do, but I did it because why not? And so this is how it turned out. But gosh, it feels like such a long time since I've spoken to you guys. I felt so bad last week that I just couldn't get a video out. It was just super, super busy. I've started preparing to move back home, which is really, really exciting. I mean, it's not done, the house isn't done or anything. All the space that we were doing work to isn't finished, but it is now livable, if that makes sense. So we're going to go back and it'll just be nice to be back home, back with the places around us that we know and the people we know, and just it'll just be nice. So I've been starting to obviously pack some things and just sort out what I need to sort out. So that's just kind of taken up a lot of time. in the evenings, because I build in the evenings. That's when I do like my building and voiceovers and things like that. So that's kind of the only free time that I have. So yeah, if there's other things I need to do, that's kind of when, I just didn't have time. So yeah, but we are here, we're back, and we're building. So yeah, so I hope that's okay, guys. But yeah, it's really exciting. So hopefully next week or this week, end of this week, whenever it will be, we move back home. So that'll be really nice, and I'll be able to have I'll be able to have a proper table to do my building and voiceovers at, rather than still being on the floor, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I am still sitting on the floor to record these voiceovers. It's a little bit strange, but there's no other space where I am to do them at other than sitting on the floor. So so it's been fun. It'll be be interesting doing it, maybe in a more practical way. But so this build, nice, short, sweet, and I'll be honest, I spend a lot of time on this exterior bit, and that's because I really wanted to put it on, obviously, like a load of rocks, because I don't know, I always envisage a lighthouse to be on an island, or at least right by the edge of like a cliff, or like where the sea is, obviously because it's for boats, but anyway. And I was struggling, to be honest. I really wanted to put this on like a lone island for it, and I was umming and ahhing about building in Brindleton Bay, because obviously I know we have that island lot where the museum is, but it's too, I don't know, it just felt too, there's sort of some like decorative pieces already on, like debug items already on the island, that makes it not kind of, I don't know, I wanted this to feel like it was on its own, like really on its own, and it's not really somewhere where you would just go like, or you'd easily be able to go, if that makes sense. So I thought this lot really worked, being right by the sea, and then I thought let's build it up on a bed of rocks to just really give it that kind of, or give it the idea that it could be like on this big cliff island type thing, if you know what I mean. So I do spend a lot of time piling up rocks, and I sort of changed my mind about how I do the front as well, because I don't know, you'll see, to start with, I was just kind of going to have a ramp, if you know what I mean, like just the Sims would just walk up the hill. And then as I was sort of doing it, it just felt a little bit weird that there was this area of like not rocky, or like not having rocks on it. I don't know, it just felt a bit strange that there was all these rocks and then suddenly there was just this like grass path. So in the end I decided to start building up the rocks, like putting some stairs that kind of look like stone, and building up the rocks all the way around, so that the steps end up looking like they're sort of nestled into the rocks and just kind of part of the natural stone in a way. And I don't know, it just made it again more like, gives the idea that it's this lighthouse all on its own on this kind of rock bed, and it's just like at a cliff, you know. I don't know, obviously it's not, because you can see grass and land all around it, but I don't know, it kind of works. But it's just feeling very coastal, and I don't know, I just wanted to build something on the coast, and maybe it's giving me kind of like, maybe it's down in Cornwall, I don't know, like it, maybe because it's like summer, I'm just thinking of making something that's kind of like in a Cornish town or something, you know, but it could be anywhere really, any coast. It's just kind of like the coast I'm more familiar with. So but just any coast. And the inside, I would say when we go into the interior, it's very like calming and quite neutral. It just feels very like fresh. I'd say it's been renovated. I know I do this with a lot of my builds. Someone's come in and renovated it. Surprise! But it's definitely been renovated, and again, could be to rent. Someone could live there. It's just kind of set up in a nice way. So it could be either, really could. It's not a functioning lighthouse anymore. I was sort of like thinking about putting a big light, but I don't know, it just kind of was looking a little strange. So I kind of just stuck with, it used to be obviously a functioning lighthouse, and now it's been converted into this somewhere where someone lives or rents or whatever. Because I feel like it would be fun to, you know, like have a holiday in one of these. I think it'd be like different, you know, a different place to stay. And yeah, I don't know, I just think it'd be kind of cool. Especially obviously you could go right to the top and you could have some amazing views up there. So yeah, it kind of works as rental or residential, whatever you fancy. But yeah, so you'll see on the inside that, yeah, there's a very, very long ladder from the ground floor up to what is the third floor, but like the second floor, because there's nothing on the third floor. So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because ladders, I always feel like when you put ladders in, it's just like doesn't feel as realistic, because, you know, that would be very inconvenient to have ladders everywhere, especially very long, tall ladders. But yeah, putting stairs in here just wouldn't, it would take up a lot of space, and to be honest, probably wouldn't really fit. So that's kind of the only way we can do it. I mean, I guess in real life there'd be very small stairs, like, or not like a ladder, but, you know, like so small that they would take up the same space almost. Like it just, the stairs in The Sims are very clunky. Like a spiral staircase would be great. Just smaller stair options, but we just don't have that. So had to use ladders, even though I always think they look a little bit funny. But I don't know, I think they're not like overly obvious. Like it's not what your attention, you're not drawn to it, because there's other things obviously within the build. So yeah, it's not like massively like, oh my goodness, there's like lots of ladders I have to climb. But yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit annoying. But anyway, so you'll notice that this first floor is actually up on quite a lot, like quite high platform. And that's because this bottom floor is, I mean, it's very tall walls in a lot of the floors, but I just felt like it helped, I don't know, just make it slightly feel not quite as tall on the inside. I think highest wall height can look really funny sometimes, just with like doors and things, because I just think like with the highest wall height you can only get like tall double doors, and if you need like a single door, like it's just never going to look tall enough. So yeah, I use a platform to raise it up, and then I think the kitchen as well. So you come through straight into the kitchen space, and it just makes it feel a little bit more cozy, because I did want that kind of cozy vibes, because it is so small and the shape of it is so interesting. It'd be so interesting, you know, like the way it's furnished. It'd be very interesting to furnish somewhere like this in real life. I made a kind of round sofa, which I thought was quite cool. And yeah, just kind of everything's on the walls. It's cute. I mean, it's different. It's always interesting to like use different shaped spaces, because it makes you use different items and put them in ways that you wouldn't. So yeah, but yeah, I know it's a little bit strange, but you know, kind of cute. So once you come up the first ladder, this floor, this is where there's like a bathroom, and this is a very small bathroom. Well, I mean, it's not really, but it's just, again, obviously because we've got the round walls, a bit of a funny shape, but it works actually. I thought it was quite a good use of space. And then on the rest of this floor, it's just going to be a kind of reading nook / study / it's just another space where you can hang out in. Maybe, you know, it's maybe where you could do some work in, or you could even have like an easel here, a musical instrument. I don't know, it's just a nice space for your sim to chill out in, I suppose. But yeah, you might notice, because of obviously being up high like this, because this is the third floor technically, and I don't know, just with the walls and things, it's very jumpy. So you'll see that I'm kind of doing it at a bit of a funny angle, but like putting the items down. And sometimes you might notice that they jump up and move, like as I'm putting them down. It was very fiddly sometimes. It's just, I don't know, sometimes on The Sims when you're working at different heights and things, it can't handle it, can it? Like you try to move a little bit and suddenly you're at the ground level. I don't know, it's just The Sims, I suppose. And then right at the top here is the bedroom. So it's just one bedroom. The space could be used better, as in like you could fit much more in here. Like you could have another bedroom space. You could have like a whole floor as a bathroom. I just didn't want it to be like, obviously I didn't want to walk through a bathroom up to the next floor, if you see what I mean. I always felt like the bedroom should be at the top, because I felt like it's somewhere where you'd go out in the morning and you could stand outside and look at the views and things. That made most sense in my head, but then it would mean that you'd have to walk through the bathroom, you know, if the bathroom was the whole floor. So yeah, that's why that was divided up, but you could easily add more rooms, because you could even have like that floor that I've deleted, you know. So yeah, you can fit much more in here, but I just wanted to create this very calm coastal vibe space, you know. That's what we were going for. And I hope that's the vibes you're getting, you know. But yeah, so just finishing up outside, adding a few little bits, you know, bit of terrain, making sure it's got all those things it needs. But yeah, that is it. I will leave you with some screenshots and see you in the next one. Bye.